A, we tied the game and no one was happy. B, Oregon won by an astounding margin. Or C, Isaiah Jackson belted a walk-off grand slam with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and we won 11-7. Please cast your vote.
No.
Okay, we're ending the poll. And the answer is C. So yes, everybody, I guess, watched or attended. We have quorum.
It's an exciting game.
We're good. We have quorum.
Okay. The minutes for our last Senate meeting of March 27th, 2023 were distributed online for your consideration. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Anybody online? All right. Hearing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. Okay, that's time for my report. Well, dear senators and guests, we have come to the last Senate meeting of the academic year. I hope it is ending on a high note for all of you. I know many of us work through the summer months, but hopefully we all get to take some time off for rest and relaxation. The Arizona Board of Regents met last week at the University of Arizona. As Arizona faculty chair, I was privileged to read the collaborative report representing all 3 universities. We touched upon issues of students' mental health, violence on campuses, and the reality that AI is here to stay. Fees and tuition pricing at all 3 universities were voted on, and they are detailed in the board book. It can be viewed at the ABOR site under board meeting documents. I really encourage all of you to take a look at the ABOR website sometime, because all the documents pertaining to the most current policy decisions and topics that are voted on at all 3 universities are there for you to read. As annual committee reports were due recently, and you will hear synopsis of each one, I want to acknowledge all the incredible work done by all the Senate committees this year. They have worked extremely hard and done their best to represent all those that have requested their assistance. An amazing group of faculty leaders. So now we have a Senator Spotlight, Senator David Burrell. David Burrell is a clinical assistant professor in the Interdisciplinary Humanities and Communication Unit of the College of Integrated Sciences and Arts at ASU. He researches the intersection of technology and tourism related to the history of the automobile in American culture. His ongoing book project expands on his dissertation titled From Rolling Bungalows to Mobile Mansions: The Origins of America's Obsession with the Recreational Vehicle. I can attest to that. His research plan also includes the study of the concept of the home of the future, smart home technology, and environmental architecture. Burrell develops courses for the History of Science, Technology, and Innovation program for the College of Integrated Science and Arts at the Polytechnic campus, including courses such as the history of the automobile and the history of energy systems. His current teaching includes the history of engineering, the history of science, technology, and innovation, global and American survey courses, and religious studies courses. To learn more about Senator Burrell, please visit the Senate dashboard blog. And if you have never, for some odd reason, been on the Senate website, please do so. It's never too late, okay? And then now what I would like to do for the most current information about ASU, it is my pleasure to introduce President Michael Crow.
Thank you, Professor Dolan. I'll give you a summary of sort of how we're doing, but I have to comment on this rolling mansion. So I looked up once, how much do these buses that people are driving that they've turned into these mobile homes cost? And I looked at some used ones for $500,000. I wasn't going to buy one. I just didn't know what they cost. Did they cost $80,000? I had no idea. And I stopped looking when they were above $1 million. I found plenty that you could buy, And there was even a sale. There was one that was 1.2 million marked down to 1.1 million. I thought, I don't really understand this. I must be dead and this is some sort of a nightmare. So it was just, so rolling mansions, I think, is actually the case. And so here we are coming to an end of the 2023 academic year. The national emergency for the pandemic is also coming to an end. We, however, remain vigilant relative to all things associated with COVID and other pandemic possible threats to the institution. We are maintaining our wastewater testing. We're maintaining our saliva-based testing. We're maintaining our epidemiology group, our epidemiological studies, our analysis of the various variants, our tracking of the variants, particularly the Indian variant. And so the team that's been working on this hasn't gone away, isn't going away, and is maintaining things. In fact, from that, we have prepared a proposal that we're seeking support for now for a thing called the Arizona Health Observatory. And the Arizona Health Observatory would be a way for us to continue on an ongoing basis our social scale and community scale observation, if you will, of public health challenges, including pandemics and pathogens as they come along. And so we're looking for how do we maintain this vigilance going forward. And I think we've got some opportunity to move that forward in a lot of ways. Relative to how we're doing at the university level, we anticipate somewhere between 83 and 84,000 students attending the university in full immersion mode for the fall semester. That is on our path, just to be clear, of more than 100,000 students that we're working toward. And for those of you that think that those are large numbers, they're not. And not because I'm incapable of saying what is a large number, far from that. It turns out that this is a grossly underbuilt public university system in Arizona. We don't have public colleges in Arizona. We have 3 public universities. We have a low college going rate. We are underperforming in our on-campus situations. And if you look at the population of this county, which will break 5 million people in the next planning horizon, and you think about states that have more or just around 5 million people or less than 5 million people, like Colorado or Oregon, both of those states have more people in college than Arizona. More people in college than Arizona. And if you look at ASU and compare ourselves to all of those institutions in those states, we're grossly underperforming in every possible way. This is hard to see. It's hard to see that we're having to make up this ground. Luckily, we have 2 fabulously underbuilt campuses, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. We just made the decision and announced the decision this semester to start 3 new schools and a new infrastructure build on the West campus, a new school in engineering, a new school in business, a new school expanded program in forensics, all things forensics, and then also an expansion of our innovation capacity around all things related to teaching and learning, all on the West campus, as well as other things that we're hoping to do on the West campus, which is to expand amenities, expand housing. We broke ground on a new dormitory there. We broke ground on a new academic office facility there. We have accelerated our planning there, accelerated our innovation district planning, all for the West campus, as we're planning to move the West campus one way or another to more than 10,000 students, hopefully to the range of 15,000 students. On the Polytechnic campus, where we have far more territory, but in a more complex setting, being in an active commercial airport and an old Air Force base, about half of which we own, that we inherited from the Air Force as a part of the 1996 Base Closure Commission process. So at the end of the Cold War, and quote unquote, at the end of the Cold War, we gave up a number of military investments, including large bases around the country. These bases were converted into the Presidio in San Francisco, Fort Ord in California. The Williams Air Force Base in Arizona became public assets. We ended up with about half of that. And now we are also greatly accelerating what we're going to be doing there. We've launched the new manufacturing school in the Fulton Schools of Engineering to be headquartered there. We'll begin construction in the next few months of the new research and expansion facility on the Polytechnic campus. And so all of that is underway. The hope is there also to take that campus to 15,000 students ultimately. Relative to the downtown Phoenix campus, we're far from built out there. We will be adding residence halls, growing the number of students living on that campus to our initial goal was 4,500 students that would live with us on that campus. We're up to about 2,000 right now that are living in our facilities. And then another 5,000 to 8,000 students that are living in the nearby apartments. So we have about 10,000 students living in the downtown, the immediate circle around downtown Phoenix right now. But we're looking to continue to evolve that campus, expand that campus. And in particular, we have the site that some of you may know of called the Mercado. The Mercado is a low 2-story, 3-story at the most highest point, sort of, I don't want to call it temporary building, but kind of like a temporary building compared to what we're going to be building. And so on that site, we will be looking to expand our programs in a range of topical areas over time, nothing that we're prepared to bring to the Senate yet, but at some point, an evolving concept that we have that's moving forward called a public health technology school, expansions of the Edson College for Nursing and Health Innovation, expansion of other things that we have in downtown Phoenix. And so we have all these things that are in motion. And in addition, in downtown Phoenix, we have a part of the Phoenix Bioscience Core Campus, in which we are the developer of 7.5 acres. And some of you may be aware of what's called the Wexford Building on that campus. That's the first of 6 or 7 buildings that will be built on that site. And so the second building is being planned now. So all those things are moving forward. As to the Tempe campus, we have asked the student affairs team to plan out substantial new student residences. We've asked the university's facilities team to begin thinking about affordable housing ideas for lower wage staff, postdocs, graduate students and others. It typically hasn't been needed here in the past, but it is increasingly needed here now. We have to think through how we're going to do that, where we would put it. We have other sites that we're now moving forward on. The Mesa Center, just a hand of the senators. How many of you have been to the Mix Center or heard of it? How many of you have heard of the Mix Center in downtown Mesa? So some of you are going like, maybe. That's a new facility up in downtown Mesa. It's a very significant facility, state of the art, probably one of a kind, probably the best in the area of digital creativity and the arts. And so all that is moving forward. So 83,000 students on campus with pathways for growth along the way, largely on the Polytechnic campus and the West Campus. In terms of where we will be in realm 2, what we call digital immersion, online technology enhanced education. Right now, this year, we have about 90,000 plus or minus 3,000 students that are pursuing degrees. That's continuing to accelerate, likely to break 100,000 in next academic year. So that's where we're headed with those things. That again is also a significant achievement for us. It's a gross underachievement for academia. Your fellow university senate at the University of California just voted to not offer any online degrees under any circumstance. And so for undergraduates, I'm not sure exactly of the logic for that or whether or not the regents will approve that, because it's not really, I don't know really whose role it is to determine those things, but nonetheless, that's been going on sort of parallel to this. In realm 3, which is what we call digital immersion, open source, open scale, those are the courses that are offered to unlimited numbers of students without enrollment or admission to the university. And in those activities, what we're seeing is very significant enrollment increases in those courses individually. Individual courses designed by you all on the faculty. Some are offered as pathways into the university. Some are offered as ways to enhance one's existence. Some are offered as our universal learner courses, where you can catch any one of 50 or so courses that can enhance your ability to be a successful college student or find your track to college. And so those are going forward. And then in what we call realm 4, this is where we're teaching through the Dreamscape Learn facility through virtual reality in the learning education through exploration modality. We've had about 8,000 students go through that learning experience, and we've seen very significant learning outcome enhancements led by our faculty coming largely out of the life sciences, but now also out of the School of Molecular Sciences, that expanding over time into other areas, including in particular the School for Art, Media, and Engineering in IDA, Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts. So enrollment, solid, moving forward. We will have more than 80,000 applications for the freshman class. We will admit most of those students to the freshman class. first year class because they meet our qualifications, because they know our qualifications going forward. Everything related to enrollment and so forth is going well. Fundraising also going well. We'll have a record year in terms of fundraising, which is good news. Lots of significant contributions being made to the university by thousands, tens of thousands of individuals, and also significant donors. We just had a $15 million contribution from the Dorrance Family Foundation in Hawaii for Professor Greg Asner's center focused on all things related to coral reef health, ocean sustainability, and so forth and so on. So that's a significant. I was just in Hawaii as a part of that process, and that's a very positive outcome. Significant new investments by the government of the United States, the largest science award ever received by the university, a $90 million plus award for the X-ray laser laboratory, which is following on our $80 million of investment, $170 million for this new tool. This new tool is basically lacking a better term and putting quotes around this, a linear accelerator in a room, as opposed to a linear accelerator across kilometers of space in which you're moving electrons at light speed and colliding them into each other and so forth and so on. This uses lasers and other tools and devices and magnets to create the same chemical outcomes or opportunities for you to observe nature at the smallest scale, at the fastest speed that we have tools to be able to observe. And so that's now been funded and underway. And strangely enough, if you're not following national politics, there were several pieces of legislation passed in the last few months. The Infrastructure Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, and other pieces of legislation along the way, the Inflation Reduction Act, those three acts in particular, all created the most significant opportunities for new academically based R&D activities since the end of World War II. So as a part of those things, we just submitted and led a $1.2 billion proposal, plus or minus, it might be 1.1, to create a carbon capture hub under the Infrastructure Act. Carbon Capture Hub is a multi-state proposal involving dozens of institutions in which a technology developed by ASU, carbon capture technology, where we built one carbon capture mechanical tree, will be replicated 10,000 times, creating an opportunity to seize carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and store it in a geological formation in New Mexico. So our faculty, our teams, various colleges and schools around the university have led this proposal. That proposal was submitted. We also submitted a major hydrogen hub proposal. So also in the infrastructure bill are major multi-billion-dollar proposals for how do you build a hydrogen-based economy? How do you produce hydrogen, move hydrogen, use hydrogen, store hydrogen, test hydrogen, all those things. We led a proposal in those spaces also. A team of ASU biologists and mathematicians have submitted a $50 million proposal for which they're a finalist. This is a unique space for us to be in against, I think, Columbia, Northwestern, and Harvard math departments, and it's in complexity math and complexity activities. A new proposal was submitted to the National Science Foundation, ranging from the social sciences through the behavioral sciences into the sustainability sciences related to sustainability futures. And so all of that's going on. I won't walk you through all of these, but right now we have 8 proposals that have been submitted in the last quarter that are together more than the value of all the proposals that we've submitted in the last 5 years. And we'll continue to win those. We did submit our FY22 higher education research and development number to the National Science Foundation for final review by them, and not audit, but review by them. That number was $797 million of research expenditures by our faculty, which, ceteris paribus, all things equal, should position us in the top 5, maybe the top 3 of all universities without medical schools in terms of research activities. And that's the number from FY22. Our FY23 number will be even more significant than that, particularly given the levels of research that we've seen in some areas from the social sciences through the humanities into the sciences, the life sciences, other areas around the university. So all of that is going well. Also, we will be receiving, this is just an early alert to you that you'll be off in Italy or wherever you go for the summer bathing, you know, on some Italian beach somewhere. And this used to be my thing when I was at Columbia. I always had to call Italy to get the faculty in the summer. So And so where are you? Oh, you're at Lake Como. Oh, you're at Capri. And so, ASU will be asked by the regents in the next few weeks, mount up a major, once in the history of the institution scale, series of efforts related to health and health outcomes for Arizona. What else can we do to enhance health outcomes at the scale of the state? Who else can we produce? What new types of people could we produce? What types of new ideas could we produce? What types of new solutions could we produce that could then lead to greater and more significant positive health outcomes for Arizona? So this is kind of in the works. There's a group of senior folks greatly enhanced by the appointment of Shireen Gabriel as university professor and sort of leader. Shireen is a wonderful person who most recently was the president of Rush University in Chicago, which is a medical university. Prior to that, she was the dean of the Rutgers University Medical School. Prior to that, she was the dean of the Mayo Medical School, and she's a member of the National Academy of Medicine. So she brings an academic and executive track record to us in terms of helping us as our lead advisor as we're beginning to think about other things that we might do. We also just completed and have not come to the Senate yet with this, but a design conceptualization of an idea, not yet a school, for a new kind of public health school built around the idea of technology, wearable technologies, system level technologies, school-centric technologies, home-centric technologies, all designed to enhance public health responsiveness, public health engagement, public health awareness, public health education, public health outcomes, all those things. And so that school idea came out of a working group that was headed by Susan Blumenthal, who was the former Assistant Surgeon General of the United States, and Admiral, I should refer to her as Admiral Blumenthal, since that's the rank that she carried in the Public Health Service, and Malcolm Grant, who is the former president of University College London, of all places, London, and also the former chair of the National Health System of England. So those two chaired a group of fantastic individuals, including several senior folks from ASU, on what a new kind of public health technology, public health school might look like. So we've been working on that. In terms of the legislature and the governor, we've had a number of conversations. I met with Erin Hart today briefly, who's the governor's education advisor. We've met with her several times, several conversations with the governor, many conversations with the legislature. What we're looking for there is, please find a way in the midst of all of the social angstiness that's running along here. Just please try not to become too angsty. Continue your investments in ASU, particularly the new economy initiatives. Continue your investments in scholarships and financial aid for Arizona students to come to ASU and the other public universities. And so we're pushing all of that along, and that's going well. Provost Gonzalez has been, she'll talk about in her, are you presenting also to everybody? Yeah. Tremendous success in deans and other very critical appointments, faculty appointments, all that's going well. I will say relative to our ongoing and continued design. So, we have now evolved, and you all are aware of this notion of tenure track faculty and career track faculty, as well as a substantial increase in minimum salaries for career track faculty, multi-year appointments for career track faculty earned over time. Those are all things that are new. Expansions of our own focus on compensation and wages. So we now, it was kind of interesting in some of the students at the Regents meeting some folks at the Regents meetings were upset about a range of different things, and we're not really able to say, well, what about this or what about that? But one of the persons that was presenting before the Regents in the call to the audience was saying, wouldn't it be great if we could pay our hourly employees the living wage? We do. All hourly wage workers at Arizona State University above a 51% appointment make the living wage, whatever that is. And it's above $20 an hour now. So we don't have large numbers of hourly wage earners, but those that we do have, they are earning that wage. It also is the case relative to student wages, student workers, not assistantships, student workers per se. We are exempted from the law of paying the minimum wage, exempted. We pay the minimum wage, students, whatever that wage is. And we will continue to do that. And so that will be accelerating because of the way that the people voted. Some of you will remember, certainly I do, people have taken extreme positive actions relative to some of these matters related to wages. So the minimum wage law in Arizona is a vote by plebiscite. And so the minimum wage in Arizona goes up over time and will at some point become the most significant minimum wage in the country. And we'll still be paying that to our students. And so, and those are not easy for us to do per se, because we also live, just to remind all of the senators, we also live in an environment where we have stated more than 10 years ago that we will never raise our in-state tuition by more than 3% per year, and we'll try to keep it as close to zero as possible. And we will keep our out-of-state and international student tuitions as close to average in terms of their costs within the United States. We do, in both of those cases, make those things happen. So we've been making progress on the design of our position and benefits and wages and so forth, all of which are very challenging for us financially. And then I'll make my last comment relative to our finances. Our finances are strong. They are complicated. They're very complicated because they require us to continually find revenue for the institution to be successful. This is no different, by the way, than where private universities are. I'll ask Senator Davies just rhetorically, where do private universities find all of their additional revenue? By expanding their price dramatically. And so it's not something that we do dramatically, far from it. And so the tuition now at many, well, the tuition at the Columbia Law School, maybe someone wants to look that up. Tuition's 99, well, at least the last time I looked, it was $99,000 a year. And so we don't have tuitions like that. We don't operate in that environment. And so our revenue acquisitions are a function of new revenue sources and dealing with growth and other things that we deal with within the institution itself. So I'll stop there and just open it up for comments or questions.
So we can go around to the campuses, see if there's any questions. Downtown, do you have any questions for President Crow?
Thank you so much, President Crow. We have no questions from downtown. Thank you.
All
In the
right.
interlude, I'll say that the long-awaited Omni Hotel and Conference Center on the ASU campus, where we asked that they build it with our partnership, and following the multiple lawsuits by the now no longer Attorney General of the state of Arizona, is open for business next week. So we're very excited about the Conference Center and the new hotel that's open on the MP campus.
Should have a hotel warming party, right?
There will be some kind of or something over there.
All right. Polytechnic campus, are there any questions?
I do have one question for you. Thank you for the update. It's really great to hear about all of the initiatives that are happening and an update on the financials. One comment, and also the Omni Center was just starting up. But I was wondering about, out here at the Poly campus, you did throw out the number again, which has often been tossed out and around, expanding us out here to 15,000 students, so 15,000 students. And you did mention the new building that we're getting out here and initiatives, but I was wondering if there's any other plans or ways in which you can think we might be able to expand, because I'm excited to expand out here and I want to help, and I think all of the faculty out here really want to help also. So like, how can we do that? And do you have any recommendations or anything to let us know about what's coming down the pipe?
So the very good question. So yes, the school that I mentioned is the new school for advanced manufacturing and network engineering, which is a part of the Fulton Schools for Engineering, which is building a research grade teaching, learning, and discovery facility on that campus at the entrance to the Polytechnic Innovation District, which is basically raw dirt right now. So we're looking to find other partners to build there. We're looking for new residence halls. But the number one thing I think that schools are not doing enough of, and I won't look at the provost as I say this in case she cringes at me, but schools should be recruiting to their schools. Schools should be recruiting to their schools, not just the university recruiting students to apply to the university and then pick the schools, but how do you recruit to the schools? And so if you have unique programs in your schools, you should be out doing what you can do to get more kids to transfer to ASU, to go to your school as a first-year student, to come to your graduate programs. One place in general relative to enrollment on campus where we are dramatically differentiated from other universities is that we've seen an uptick in our enrollment in our online graduate programs, our master's programs, and a dramatic decrease in our on-campus master's programs, not in every unit of the university, but around the university. And that's not natural. That's not occurring in other places. So we're not exactly sure what's happening here. There should be no shortage of efforts to recruit graduate students. We have the 4-1 programs in place. We have 3-2 programs in a couple of cases. We have partnerships with other universities. We have ability to develop and advance new degrees on differentiated models. We seem to have some lagging elements of sort of 1940 culture, which is that master's degrees are somehow the prizes for those incapable of earning a PhD. So we'll have that on the side for them. I don't think so, not in the world going forward. And then on top of that, I mean, what a terrible, terrible way to run the railroad in a world where the master's degree has a lot of coin in industry and in other parts in government and in schools and teaching and so forth. And so to your question, I hope that every school is pursuing graduate students from our own undergraduate student body. We're set up in a way now where you could do a 4-1. You have, you're supposed to be able to enter a graduate program in your own department. And why not do that? I know that's going on. I don't know where the representatives are from engineering, but there's going on a fair amount in engineering, lesser in other cases, but that's part of my answer. And then on top of that, we're going to be looking in the case of the Polytechnic campus to the expanding of infrastructure to support students and so forth and so on. That's a chicken and egg question. I mean, every time we start some new, more exciting food service program at the West Campus of the Polytechnic campus, it lasts for a while and then we have to close it down because, everybody went out for lunch somewhere else. And that's not the case on the Tempe campus or on the the downtown campus, because there's just more people. And so it's a little bit of a chicken and egg. And so plus people got so used to those places not having facilities that it's hard.
Okay. And now from the Tempe campus, can you just and state your name? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. YZ from School of Computing and AI. So thank you for all the updates, President. And essentially, if I look at, I do software engineering, right? So if I look at the enrollment of ASU, 80K per year, and summing up all the alumni, it's almost a million user base. And you're talking about the VR, AR learning technologies. To me, it's almost as big as a mid-scale high-tech company is trying to serve. So a few questions and also comments and also seeking your opinions. First of all, at School of Computing and AI, we are training every year 3,000 software engineers. Is there any plans to pipeline our own graduates into develop all these tools? Second is there any rationale behind developing all these tools in-house rather than subcontracting to other suppliers to reduce the cost? The third is there any policy blocks from, let's say, sub-licensing or selling the tools to other schools, which apparently they can use it as well? For example, the Columbia Law School. Just my 3 questions.
Right. So you're astute in your thought or your conceptualization that we're certainly a huge enterprise. We have hundreds of people working in our central IT. We call it ET, Enterprise Technology Shop. Those are supported by more than 1,000 people. A handful of those are coders, and we have contract coders, outside coders, coder partners, coding partners, technology partners, learning technology partners, business systems partners. We have all those things going on at the same time. We also have about 70 commercial learning and educational technology development company partners that are embedded inside ASU that we're working with. So we've got all these things going on at the same time. At the same time, I'm 100% certain that we're not capitalizing on our own talent to the level that we could. both through the program that you are a part of, as well as other parts of programs that we have, including in the humanities and so forth, where we have software capable students and staff in those areas. Lev Gonik, who is the Chief Information Officer for the institution and the head of enterprise technology. Right now, we're in the middle of working through what else we can do. And so any ideas that you have there, any concepts that you have there, we're going to be wide open to that. In terms of working with companies, we do work with companies. We work with companies, we do it ourselves. We have lots of things we do ourselves, some things that we have to customize ourselves, some things that are so weird we can't find a company to do those things. Other things like our new multilingual chatbot for mental health issues, we acquired that and then modified that, in ways to work here. And then to your last question, which was the question on, licensing to others or working with others, there's no prohibition from that. In fact, that one of the strategies with Dreamscape Learn is that the company Dreamscape Learn, not ASU, will use everything that Dreamscape Learn produces, but Dreamscape Learn will then license that and make that available for revenue that can then be ultimately brought back to ASU, to other colleges and other universities. And so there's wide openness to that. I thought you were also going to say, is there a way that if you develop or your students develop solutions, could the university license them from you? And the answer is yes.
Cool.
And so that's also a possibility through the normal procedures that we have. So all those things are possible. What we're really looking for more than anything, particularly as the GPT systems and the AI systems come online, is how do we best use these things, understand them, connect them, link with them, and so forth. So we're in sort of the early phases of sort of what I call flashing yellow light, flashing green light. Probably positive unless we wake up one day and they've killed us all. But so far it doesn't seem to have that capability yet. But
Yeah,
I did watch all those movies. So
yeah, as an AI and NLP researcher, I would say you don't need to worry about that,
Yes.
at least for the next 10 years. And thank you for all the updates.
I did
And
watch iRobot, and
I would say it's just an extremely exciting time for AI in education, and I appreciate all the efforts. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and Senator,
Hi, I'm Roseanne Schuster with the School of Human Evolution and Social Change. I'm part of our global health faculty. And I just wanted to say I'm so excited to hear these various health focus elevated among all the many priorities of the university. And I love that they're grounded in our traditional health sciences. And I'm excited to see the collaboration across the university with so many different units working on health. And specifically, I was wondering if you could say a little bit more about the health and health outcomes engagement that you mentioned might be coming in a few weeks, so I can cue our faculty to look for
But
that.
the most important thing is that, so Arizona is an underperformer. So in the Western states, they tend to be very significantly positive performers in health outcomes. Colorado, Utah, in particular, those two states, Oregon, Idaho, Arizona, less so. And so it's partly related to income and a lot of other things, but we just don't have the kind of health outcomes that we need in Arizona. And we have particularly acute communities, acutely impacted communities with negative health outcomes for lots of different reasons. So the notion is, what would we do from scratch if we decided to follow a strategy to be true to our charter, where we take responsibility for the outcomes of our state, including the health outcomes of our state? What would we be doing? How would we work? So we're in the middle of all of that, and your program in the School for Human Evolution and Social Change, that program, other programs throughout the university will at some point become active in all of these things once we have a better definition of exactly what we're going to be asked to do, and a better set of ideas of where we are. Certainly by the August meeting of this group, we'll be able to give some sense of where we are from the board. The board is going to be looking at talking to us in June at the June board meeting. So we're looking forward to that. I'm going to be presenting something at the June meeting. And it's built on the assumption, I appreciate your comment, it's built on the assumption of the fantastic and multi-talented transdisciplinary and disciplinary staff that we have at ASU, which is pretty much capable of adjusting and responding and being creative in almost any setting. So we're looking forward to that. So just everybody should just be ready for more opportunity going forward.
All right, we'll stay tuned. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Heather Maring. I'm a faculty member in the English department. And I'm really heartened to hear that just a year after, I think the issue of graduate student housing was raised, that you guys are moving forward on that. And I was wondering if you could say something more about, well, I'm particularly interested in the Tempe campus, but just in general, in relationship to affordable housing for graduate students and others.
Right.
Um,
So I appreciate the question. It's not, none of these things are easy. We have to find places, which we have done. We have to find capital, which is other than ours. We have to find partners who own that capital, who we can stand. And that is, and who can stand us, you know, because we have certain requirements. I think we can do all of those things. Here's the risk. So we go ahead and launch something like this, and then for the most part, graduate students, until most recently, haven't wanted to live in any facility that we're a part of. That then means then if you go out and you build a facility that's capable of housing 1,000 people and only 400 people show up, well, we've got a big problem then relative to the economics of the project. And so we're thinking it through in terms of a number of things. We're doing a few things where all these big apartment buildings that you see going up, we're through the city of Tempe and others, we're requiring affordable housing units in those apartment buildings that are finished differently and have a different cost basis. So we are requiring that. Now, that doesn't solve any problem because those are minuscule in number, but they're at least symbolically important. What we're looking at, though, is what can we build, like the apartments that we built for students that would be valuable for graduate students and other workers, as well as possibly other public service workers from the broader communities that we could bring into these projects. And so right now we're in the conceptual planning stage, but we've now launched and said we want to do this. That has been socialized with the board. We've got property in Mesa, property in Tempe, property in Phoenix, other property we're attempting to find in other locations where these facilities could be built, all subject to public transportation, light rail in particular. So the light rail project becomes really important relative to moving people around. And so we're looking at all those things. Now, none of these things happen quickly. And so in the interim, what we are saying to folks is, you know, we are trying to help people to find the right kinds of places, helping people with some of their financial aid issues and so forth and so on. It's complicated, but we are now launched at the conceptual stage.
All right, great. One more campus, West Campus. Any questions?
Students from the West Campus. Thank you, President Crow.
Okay, so all good. All right. Thank you very much,
Okay.
President Crow.
All right, thank you.
And next we have Provost Nancy Gonzalez to say a few things.
I appreciate President Crow's update. He actually really kind of gave the broad framework for so much of what we've been doing all year long, and that you've all been a part of the sort of the expanding of our mission, the schools and the degree programs that help us do that, which have to move through these committees, and you get to help us kind of vet them and ask questions, and likewise all the focus on career track faculty and the challenges that posed, and you all brought forward good questions and asked for information when it was needed so you could understand better what we were doing. So I appreciate all of that. He gave such a great summary. I'm not going to further expand on that. I just want to maybe focus on two things. One is that last night we welcomed the review panel from the Higher Learning Commission, because we're right now in the middle of our accreditation, which happens every 10 years for ASU. So this is the accrediting body that supports all of our work and stands behind our degrees in higher education. It's a panel that's here, and it's been about a 2-year effort to kind of pull together what's called an assurance argument, which basically outlines what ASU is doing to meet the 5 criteria set forth by the Higher Learning Commission. An extensive document explaining what we do, and then now they're here for a site visit meeting with various teams, and President Crow just went to go meet with the team to be part of their tour. But it's been a tremendous effort. Many of you have been involved, even just in the writing of the document alone. Over 160 people were involved in pulling that together. It is up on the Provost website under HLC. If you actually want to see the assurance argument that was produced, I welcome you to go on the site and take a look at that. We're quite proud of that. It happens every 10 years, but as we like to say, 10 years in ASU time is more like 50, just in terms of the way that we've changed in just 10 years. If you think about it, 10 years ago, online was really not even a thing. And now look at where we are. So anyway, I invite you to do that. The other thing I wanted to do is just to thank all of you for the work that you've done supporting this and everything else. And it's been a very, very busy year for all of you. I would love a show of hands if you are a senator who will be stepping down, and you can raise your hand in all rooms this year. So we've got not too many. Okay. Well, for those of you who are stepping away, I want to thank you for the work that you've done. It's a pleasure getting to know you, and I appreciate the way that you bring information forward and partner with us. And on that, I just also want to close by saying thank you to Penny Dolan, who has been a tremendous leader for the University Senate. She is a thoughtful leader. She's a wonderful communicator. She is very quick to take every single issue that is brought forward to her and make sure that it gets in front of the people that it needs to get in front of. And she's sort of really quite demanding in making sure that these things are being addressed. And then also reaching out to folks across the university to say, who do we need to bring in that you need to hear from so that you can better understand and be informed? So I've really appreciated her efforts to do that. And she's also worked beautifully representing the 3 universities at the Arizona Board of Regents, and also partnering with our sister universities as we, have similar issues that we're all working with together. So anyway, thank you, Penny, so much for all that you've done.
Thank you. Goodness, thank you very much. I'll blush, or I would be. So we have no unfinished business, so we can begin new business with our first reads from CAPC to prepare you for motions we will be acting on in our next Senate meeting. So Claudia, come on up.
Thank you, President Dolan. The Curriculum and Academic Programs Committee, which is made up of, as you remember, faculty from all units across the all across our campuses. Actually, I just looked. We have 17 members and 2 members who stood in, so almost 19 members. Actually, are going to meet. We have one more meeting on April 27th coming up this Thursday to discuss the following 5 motions related to degrees and certificates. And these items will return to you, the Senate, for further discussion and vote in the fall semester. So I'm going to read those 5 motions. Okay, first one, motion 2023-69, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of International Letters and Cultures for the disestablishment of an undergraduate certificate in classical studies, Latin. Motion 2023-70, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of International Letters and Cultures for the disestablishment of an undergraduate certificate in classical studies. Motion 2023-71, request from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BS in Project Management. Motion 2023-72, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Historical, Philosophical, and Religious Studies for the name change of an undergraduate degree from BA in Asia Studies to BA in Global Asia Studies. Motion 2023-73, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Earth and Space Exploration for the name change of an undergraduate degree from BA in Earth and Environmental Studies to BA in Earth and Environmental Sciences. Thank you.
Okay, if you have any questions or comments about any of these proposals that were just read, that will go before CAPC for review at the next meeting, please contact me or Claudia Sadowski-Smith if you have any questions about those. We have an additional motion for a first read, and this is brought to you by the UAC, and it will be read with our soon-to-be president, Greg Stone.
All right, so this concerns the definition of full-time faculty with regard to officers and Senate. So the motion's introduced by the UAC. The title is Clarifying Full-Time Status for Senators, Officers, and Grievance Committee Members. And the rationale is, given the importance of faculty leadership positions, faculty who hold such positions should have full-time status. Since different units in the university are not unanimous in how they define this status, these amendments clarify that definition. This does not affect membership in the academic assembly or the definitions which different units use in determining faculty relationships. The only exceptions to this rule are those faculty in short-term phased out retirement programs or the Senate representative from the Emeritus College. And please refer to the motion 2023-67 for more complete details.
And please understand, this is a first read, so this will be brought up again at the next Senate meeting in the fall, and it will be open for discussion at that time. But I will say that you are welcome to contact me directly for any specific details if you would like to. Okay. We will now address the second reads listed on the agenda, beginning with the new course proposals that were distributed to you as first reads via email on April 11th. Unless there is an objection, these course proposals will be handled in gross. Does anyone wish to remove any of the new course proposals from the list? Looking around at the colleges? Nope. Okay. All right, then Maria, we will take a vote.
Okay, everyone. So you should have in front of you the motion to approve new course proposals. Do you approve of Senate Motion 2023-68, new course proposals in gross? A for yes, B for no, or C to abstain? Okay, we're ending the poll. This motion passes with 101 votes, 97%.
Okay. We have 12 motions that have passed the CAPC review. Unless there is an objection, these motions will be handled in gross. But after these motions are read, senators have the ability to remove specific motions for discussion and voting. So we will read these first. CAPC Chair Claudia Sadowski-Smith will come up and read them. And then after that, if there is anything to discuss, we will.
Thank you. Okay, so CAPC met this past Thursday, April 20th, to discuss these 12 motions, which I'm now presenting for you for your consideration and vote. 12 motions, bear with me. Motion 2023-53. Request from College of Health Solutions for the disestablishment of a graduate degree AUD in audiology. Motion 2023-54. Request from Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions, School of Public Affairs for the transfer of a graduate degree MA in Emergency Management and Homeland Security from the Dean's Office to the School of Public Affairs. Motion 2023-55. Request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Human Evolution and Social Change for the transfer of a graduate degree PhD in Applied Mathematics for the Life and Social Sciences from School of Human Evolution and Social Change to School of Complex Adaptive Systems, College of Global Futures. Motion 2023-56, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Human Evolution and Social Change for the transfer of an undergraduate degree, BS in Applied Mathematics for the Life and Social Sciences from School of Human Evolution and Social Change to School of Complex Adaptive Systems, College of Global Futures. Motion 2023-57, request from Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions, School of Public Affairs for the transfer of a graduate degree, MS in Program Evaluation and Data Analytics from Dean's Office to School of Public Affairs. Motion 2023-58, request from Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions, School of Criminology and Criminal Justice for the transfer of a graduate degree, MPSLA in Public Safety Leadership and Administration from Dean's Office to School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Motion 2023-59, request from W.P. Carey School of Business, Dean's Office for the establishment of a new academic unit, School of Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. Motion 2023-60, request from College of Integrative Sciences and Arts, Dean's Office for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, AA in Professional Studies. Motion 2023-61, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Earth and Space Exploration for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate in planetary sciences. Two more. Motion 2023-63, request from Watts College of Public Service and Community Solutions, School of Community Resources and Development for the establishment of an undergraduate certificate in recreational therapy. Motion 2023-64, request from W.P. Carey School of Business, Dean's Office for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BA in Applied Business and Technology Solutions. And the last one, motion 2023-65, request from W.P. Carey School of Business, Dean's Office for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BA in Entrepreneurial Leadership. Thank you.
Now, these 12 proposals have been reviewed and passed by CAPC and brought to the Senate as motions for your final approval. Does anyone wish to remove any of these motions from the engrossed list for individual discussion and voting? Yes, I'm looking, who? Well, then come to the, what? I'm sorry, because it's hard to hear. Which one, so you want to remove one?
2023-53.
2023-53. Is there any other one that has, does anyone else wish to? Just looking at that one is, hang on. Maria, you got that? Okay, so then what we will do, if there are no more,
Are there any others though?
then what we will do is vote on gross without that one.
Are there any others?
Any others? No. Going once, twice? No.
Give me 1 second.
So that will be removed and then we will have a discussion.
Okay. So in front of you, you have a revised CAPC consent agenda and it reads, do you approve the revised CAPC motions with the removal of Senate Motion 2023-53? And the options are A for yes, B for no, or C to abstain. Couple more seconds. We are ending the poll. And the motion passes with 99 votes, 96%.
Okay, motion 2023-53 has been removed from the engrossed list for further discussion. So, so we will begin the discussion with the senator who has asked for it to be removed from the list. And then we can have other comments too. So please go ahead.
All right. I'm Senator Kristen Samuelson. I represent the Speech and Hearing Science Program in the College of Health Solutions. I also happen to be the chair-elect of the American Board of Audiology. I would like to comment on motion 2023-53, a motion to disestablish the Doctor of Audiology degree program at ASU. Just a little background. 48 million Americans have hearing loss. Hearing loss is the #1 service-connected disability of our military veterans. Hearing loss is the single most modifiable risk factor for dementia. It's a serious health conditions, and doctors of audiology are the professionals who diagnose it and treat it. Over-the-counter hearing aids have not replaced audiologists, just like reading glasses have not replaced optometrists. In fact, in the 6 months since their legislation, over-the-counter hearing aids have brought more awareness to audiology and the need for professional hearing healthcare. The speech and hearing science faculty objected to some inaccuracies in the rationale presented in the first read of this motion. An ensuing discussion with CHS leadership resulted in the amended version that you are voting on today. The AUD program at ASU is a nationally ranked program. The most recent US News and World Report ranked us as 18th out of 80 programs in the nation. In my 5 years as clinic director, we have established a dedicated clinical and research faculty that developed a unique proposal to introduce the nation's first 3-year hybrid AUD program, which likely would have raised our rankings even further and would have increased enrollment with potential to reach rural and underserved populations. Today's amendment asks you to close the ASU program strictly based on finances, not the quality of our program. On paper, our program looks like it loses money because the university precludes the college from counting tuition dollars that our students pay for us to educate them. We're only allowed to count their fees, their program fees. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics projects audiology to grow faster than the average for all occupations through 2030, yet US programs do not currently produce enough graduates to cover this need. So I just conclude by saying that for brain health, for mental health, for good overall health, Arizona and the nation need audiologists. We believe that closing our program at ASU is a mistake. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your comments. Does anybody else want to offer another one from any of the campuses? Downtown? Nope. Okay. Polytechnic, does anyone want to offer a comment or against? Sorry,
Not here at Polytechnic.
Okay, and then we're at Tempe.
Hi, I'm Saba Marsich, School of International Letters and Cultures. I simply wanted to support what Senator Samuelson said. I will say I'm one of those 48 million Americans with hearing loss, and I benefited immensely from the products of the Doctor of Audiology degree. My own audiologist is one of them. I've also benefited from the speech and hearing department in general. And I also want to say I work with the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and 15% of Arizonans have hearing loss. So this is, I would say, a necessary resource for the community. And if the program must be abolished, I would strongly encourage ASU to seek an alternative. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lamarche. All right. West Campus, any comments or against?
Hi, this is Senator ex-President Mary Burleson. Sorry. I would like to support also exactly what Senator Bomarcich said. I also have some hearing loss and have visited audiologists, and I think it's really a shame that we would be a program that is obviously so important and necessary, especially in a state that is a mecca for old people who tend to lose their hearing. It just seems like a really big, short-sighted decision. I admit I don't really know much about the finances or anything else behind this, but it just seems like there's got to be another way. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
We have Senator Tina Saber on Zoom.
Okay.
Senator Tina.
Hi, thank you. I also want to support the statement that was read regarding the AUD program. Again, I know there's two sides to every story, so I really don't have the background on the reverse side of the story. But as a clinical provider in the allied health professions, and as an occupational therapist who specializes in vestibular imbalance, which is a correlation and a partner with the audiology department in addition to hearing. This is an up and coming progressive process and area of concern that we as aging adults and the community are going to experience. In addition to hearing, there's also dizziness and vertigo, and there's additional diagnoses that are supported and diagnosed within the audiologists within our community. So again, I support what the senator is talking about in support of the AUD program.
Thank you very much for all the reasoned comments. Is there anything more online? Maria?
No.
Okay. All right. At this point, if there are no further comments, at this point, we will go for a vote on this. Correct, Maria?
Yes. Okay, I want to, before I launch the iClicker, I want to make sure that everybody understands the motion. So an approval of the motion would mean that it would continue, it would pass and it would disestablish the program. So an approval would disestablish the program. Okay, launching. Okay, so do you agree to approve Senate Motion 2023-53? And if you agree, you would vote yes, or no, or you would abstain with C. Okay, ending the poll. The motion does not pass with 83 votes, 79%.
Okay. Okay, motion does not pass. Okay. So moving on, we have another motion. We have an additional motion that has been brought to, the additional motions that have been brought to you for your action as a second. The motion 2023-66 is, hold on a second, is a motion to challenge the bylaws and comes from the University Senate Faculty Policy Committee. And I would like to invite President-elect Davies to come on up. And actually, oh, here, you know what? You could use that mic if you want. And I'm gonna, because I have to play a part too. I forgot. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so Pauline, if you want to.
Okay, so I've actually got quite a lot to read. So it is recommended that we amend bylaw 1B 2B 1 by striking out 12 members, 6 from the Tempe campus and 2 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus.
Pauline, you're supposed to start with an order to improve Senate operations.
Oh, so sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all right.
I didn't see that one. As I said, there's a lot to read here.
Yes, there is.
In order to improve Senate operations in keeping with the Senate's purpose and role in shared governance, the UAC recommends several substantive amendments to ACD 112-01 bylaw 1.b.2 to include career track faculty on the University Grievance Committee. On behalf of the UAC, I move the adoption of motion 2023-66.
And so because the motion comes from the committee, it does not require a second. For efficiency, this motion will be handled seriatim. Each bylaw that has a revision will be read in its entirety and be up for discussion by senators. The main motion, however, will only be voted on once all revised bylaws are read, although motions may be made to change portions of the bylaws as we work our way through them. The question is on the adoption of the proposed bylaws revision. Okay, so now At this point, will the representative, Davies, read bylaw 1.b.2b.1?
Okay. It is recommended
infinitum.
that we amend bylaw 1.b.2.b.1 by striking out 12 members, 6 from the Tempe campus and 2 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. Members shall be elected by the Academic Assembly from among tenured professors and tenured associate professors, and replacing with membership. Tenured and tenure-track faculty shall elect 12 members of this committee, 6 from the Tempe campus and 2 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. Career track faculty shall elect 6 career track faculty members who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years. 3 from the Tempe campus and 1 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. So the bylaw now reads, membership. Tenured and tenure track faculty shall elect 12 members of this committee, 6 from the Tempe campus and 2 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. Career track faculty shall elect 6 career track faculty members who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years. 3 from the Tempe campus and 1 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. Assembly members may vote only for those nominees for their campus. The term shall be 3 years, 1/3 of the elected members to be replaced each year. Members may not hold administrative positions at the level of department chair or above.
All right, thank you. Is there any discussion on bylaw 1.b.2.b.1? I'm expecting you all to remember this now. Any discussion from any of the campuses? Zoom? Okay. If none, then we're going to move to the next bylaw. So I move, okay, let's see here. All right. So the UAC representative will now read, and the UAC representative, you, will read the next one, which is the 1B, 2B, and then .3.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It is recommended that we amend bylaw 1.b.2.b.3 by deleting A, the committee shall investigate alleged infringements upon academic freedom as defined and described in ACD 201, or tenure of faculty members. The committee shall hear cases assigned to it by the Clearinghouse Committee. The committee shall deal with dismissal and disability status, and replacing with A, the committee shall hear cases assigned to it by the Clearinghouse Committee. B, the committee shall deal with cases of disability status. C, the committee shall investigate alleged infringements upon academic freedom as defined and described in ACD 201. D, the committee shall meet to deal with cases of dismissal, but only the tenured members of the committee shall investigate dismissal of tenure track or tenured faculty, or alleged infringements upon the tenure of faculty members.
All right, thank you. Is there any discussion on 1B.2.B.3? In any of the campuses, any discussion? Okay, please proceed and read the last one, actually, 1.B.2.C.1.
It is recommended that we amend bylaw 1.B.2.C.1 by deleting tenured professors and tenured associate professors and replacing with all full-time faculty who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years. The bylaw now reads 12 members, 6 from the Tempe campus and 2 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus and the West campus. Members shall be elected by the Academic Assembly from among all full-time faculty who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years, for a period of 3 years. Assembly members may vote only for those nominees for their campus. 1/3 of the elected members shall be replaced each year. Members may not hold administrative positions of department chair or higher.
Great, thank you. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? 1B.2.C.1? Please. Well. Yeah, hang on one second. All right, well, the floor is now open for additional discussion, debate, or amendments. Please come forward, introduce yourself and ask your question.
I'm sorry if this is obvious to everyone else, but I was wondering why the change to at least 6 years. I'm wondering if that's going to cause any problems. I ask the question in part because I know that sometimes professors are hired and tenured immediately, right?
Sometimes.
It happens.
Not too
And
often.
with those tenured professors who had only worked at ASU for 2 years or 4 years, then not receive the attention of the grievance committee is my question.
Would you like to offer an amendment to change the wording? Well, I think what it is tenure, yes, in a perfect world, tenure is 6 to 7 years for the completion of the process. Yes, there are people that do come to a university from another university with tenure already in place, and it's part of their negotiation. That does happen.
I think what I'm saying is that I don't fully understand the stipulation that they have to have worked at ASU for 6 years.
I think for such yeah, it's for career track. And the reason I would venture having been here
correct.
quite a long time is I think they're looking for the stability because it's a very important
Oh,
committee.
I did misunderstand. I
So
apologize.
it is to serve, you can still file a grievance.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
you
but
can
it's
still
to
have a
serve.
grievance, but to serve on it.
My apology.
No,
I
totally fine.
I got back on a plane trip past
That's
midnight
okay.
last night.
It proves
so-
you were listening.
Thank
Good,
you.
good. All right. That is good. Any other comments?
Just a quick comment from downtown. So for a period of 3, we add consecutive years? If that's what we're going for there, so all full-time faculty who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years for a period of 3 consecutive years?
Because people can take breaks, right? Like that's the
That's true,
intent.
yes.
Okay.
So we can't put that in ourselves right now. You can make a motion, Maureen, to add that.
What do you think? Or
Doesn't 3 years stipulate the period of service on the committee, not a requirement?
is that's what
That's how I
I,
read it.
okay, that's what I was confused about. So Penny, is it saying that they have to serve on the committee for 3 years?
Yes, they serve for
Yes,
3 years, but,
correct. It is 3-year service, yes.
right, but the other part is the employment.
So they have to be employed for 6 years and then they serve for 3.
Correct.
That's not clear.
Okay, we were just reading it differently. Can you
Yes.
put it back up? Let's see it again.
Oh, we did add a comma, right? Yes. You may not, that may not be the, oh,
We just,
Oh,
we're just.
sorry. No,
interpreting
no,
it.
I'm gonna
The
stop there.
commas are crucial in this piece. Absolutely.
Exactly.
the old eat grandma or eat grandma, yes.
It is difficult, but yes, I think they serve for a period of 3 years.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
Oh, it's
so
actually in
can I
there.
make an amendment? Oh, yeah,
We already,
the commas are now in place, but it's still very difficult for people to
Yes.
understand. I have to agree. Yeah.
all right, any other comments? Yes, I can, Ladon. All right, went to downtown. Now we're going to go to Polytechnic campus. Any comments or questions on this? Any discussion?
That's a question. Anybody? I don't think so. Nothing from the Polytechnic campus.
Okay, We actually got one from Tempe. Is there any other comments from Tempe? All right. Hala on the West Campus, are there any comments or questions on this? No, all good?
On the West Campus, thank you.
How about online? Maria, is there anybody from online? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say hearing none, that we have clarified. Oh. Yes. Yes, you do, Claudia. Yes, yes. I didn't close the window yet.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, somebody who's comes in with tenure, this is what my colleague Heather just said. So somebody who is full or associate would not be able to serve on the grievance committee for 6 years, for an entire 6 years that they've been hired here. I think that's a problem because we usually don't have enough faculty to draw from. And I think the units are not going to remember this when they're asked to nominate people, candidates to stand for these committees. And I'm not really sure why we would do that for tenured and tenured in this case, tenured faculty. I'm not sure that that's serving us. I guess it's a question, but I would also be okay to make a motion on this to qualify, because we say all faculty now, right? We don't
Yes,
actually
you
make a
would
distinction.
say for all full-time faculty who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years, comma, for a period of 3 years, so it'd be 3 sabbatical, whatever. Well, at that point, it's the very end here. So I believe you would make a motion to either amend that time frame.
I think it would have to
But-
be amend the wording, all career, full-time faculty. Career track.
Without time? Yeah, okay, well, that's. So we can move to strike the 6 years if you believe it should have no qualifications such as that.
Well, I don't really know. I mean, I'm understanding this is for career track faculty and there's
No,
probably
this
some
is-
justification.
It's for all
Okay.
faculty.
Okay, I'm okay with striking it. I
You want to,
I guess I'm not really understanding why 6 years would be the milestone
Okay.
for precluding people from serving.
then you would have to make a motion to
Okay,
amend it to
I
say-
motion to strike the period of 6 years from this motion.
Need a
Thank you.
second? There's a second, Lori? And there you go, Ladon.
Could we have a clarification on why we chose 6 years? What was the reasoning there?
I cannot give you one because I was not in the deliberations for this one.
This one, where did this come from? Oh, so why 6 years? That wasn't in the original motion.
How did that get in there then? Wow.
We did.
Who did?
Apparently we did in the UAC.
I personally did not. Okay, well, in that case. Yeah, in that case, because it doesn't belong. No,
So we shouldn't be having a conversation across the floor. Why don't you just come over here to the microphone so we
okay,
can
but
have a
what I would like
discussion?
to say is I don't have background knowledge on that, why it was put in for 6 years. If we want to have that
I don't
motion.
think we put it in. I don't know where
Yeah,
it came
so
from.
if we
No.
want to amend it with that motion that Claudia brought up, we can do that. To strike
So just.
the 6 years. Right, we'll have to strike it from both. So it's on 1.B.2.3. No, where is it here? It's on the first one, the 1.B.2.B.1, so that we can strike 6. I don't know who put that. I did not see that.
Okay.
Yes, it's
So
this
what we
one.
have to do is go with this. We have a
Yeah.
motion on the floor.
Mhm.
So is
Can
there
we
any other
vote?
comments?
Are there any other comments on this last amend this last bylaw, besides striking the 6 years. It's bylaw 1.b.2.b. Oh, I'm sorry, .c.1. I bet you're not all remembering that anyway, so, but are there any other comments?
Penny, suggestion from the Polytechnic campus, could we please get the last wording reread?
Yes. So the last part was, it is recommended that we amend bylaw 1.b.2.c.1 by deleting tenured professors and tenured associate professors and replace it with all full-time faculty who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years.
And what's
And
the?
right, but I'm going to read the whole thing. The law now reads 12, et cetera, but we are saying oh, because it had read that. It had read 6. They kept it in. So let's cut to the chase. Do we want to amend that? We are removing from that statement who have been employed for at least 6 years. So that anyone, are we all good with that? I need to get my work.
Okay. Penny,
Yes.
sorry, one more comment from here from Polycampus. The one problem with amending that to just remove the 6-year requirement, which I think we need to get the wording a little bit more nuanced on this, is because if you do that, then untenured faculty can serve on these committees. And these are usually one of the big purposes of these committees are grievances for the tenure process.
But we are moving to allow non-tenured faculty. That's the whole point.
But non-tenured, tenured track faculty.
Yeah.
If
So-
you remove 6 years.
Yes.
So why can't it simply say all full-time career track faculty and full-time tenured faculty?
Yes,
That would be
exactly.
the easiest wording, wouldn't it?
That it would.
So not.
Tenured faculty, yeah, yes.
On the 6-year.
Because if they're tenured, they're obviously tenured. One assistant professor serving as what they.
Send this back.
How can you be tenured?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Send it back.
We have to get rid of
Okay.
motion that's on the floor.
All right, we have to deal with the motion on the floor, which is to get rid of the 6-year requirement. We have a second for that, so let's vote on that. So this would be bylaw 1.B.2.C.1, Maria, right? Right.
Yes.
So first, let's get rid of this, then we're going to move to the next thing.
Give me 1 sec.
We already passed.
May I make a comment before this is done?
No,
It's done.
no, it's done.
Done.
It's
Okay.
not voted on yet.
We can amend it again.
We can amend it again, but we need to vote
We
on
have to
this.
Get rid of the one that's on the floor.
Right. We have to deal with what we just brought up on the floor. No, it's,
Okay.
it is full-time faculty. Part-time faculty are not on the struck, yeah. I don't see why this wouldn't go back to committee.
Because
This-
you need a motion. But now there's a motion on.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Ann Walton Ramirez. I'm with School of International Letters and Cultures. So if we look at tenured faculty, would we also need to include associate teaching professor or
Yes,
full
that's
teaching
career track. Those
professor?
are career track, yes.
But what about assistant
That's
teaching
career track
professor?
too. That's included.
But we're including the difference between tenured.
We're including all faculty.
We're not thinking about this non-tenure or tenured track. Right, so the tenured faculty are the only ones allowed to be on this committee?
No,
Oh, okay. Is that
So,
what I'm?
no, I think, yeah, we were discussing, I'm confused. I'm Chiara Dal Martello. I'm also in the School of International Letters and Cultures. So what we're trying to say is if you struck the 6 years minimum requirement, but you leave career faculty as a whole, there's going to be people there that are still assistant teaching
but
professors.
that is a career faculty.
Yes, but they just.
That
be-
those,
it-
if
and
you are,
Those can be also putting a grievance about being promoted. It's the same thing as tenure track faculty that we're striking.
Yes, but this is only to serve on the committee. They can still submit a
Right,
grievance.
right. No, that's not about that. That's about serving in the community. So we're not allowing tenure track professor to serve in the community, but we are allowing assistant teaching professor to
Right.
serve. So in our
Yeah.
opinion, it's the same
allowing
thing.
everybody.
So, no, we're not allowing tenure track.
Yes, we
Tenure
are.
track. Okay.
We're deleting the specification.
But you put tenure faculty on there.
But I can't hear, guys.
Okay, never mind.
It's everybody. No, but
Or we have a motion that needs to be handled.
how can we handle it if nobody understands it?
Motion to, well, because they can just say, no. leave it
Maria,
alone," and
can you put the motion up? We have to move past it.
I'm not sure which one to put up.
Can I
What do
make
you
a
want me
motion?
to put up?
No, there is a motion to strike the 6 years. So people can choose to not pass that motion.
I mean, you
or they
could
can
all
choose-
abstain if you want, and then
They can choose to pass it. But they can make a new motion afterwards.
somebody make a motion that this goes back to committee. Yes, but not yet. Hang on, we first have to vote on this. one.
Before I launch it, can someone check it? Make sure that it's correct. Okay,
Yes,
so here we go.
and then I'm gonna have Pauline propose to go back to committee because this is
Okay.
confusing.
Yeah. That's for the whole.
So this is to revise
Like the whole
Senate
thing.
Motion 2023-66. And it reads, do you approve motion 2023-66 to strike who have been employed at
Send it back.
ASU for at least 6 years? A for yes, B for no, C to abstain. Please vote.
Okay,
I'm-
vote on this first so we can move on.
Okay, we're ending the poll. Okay, hold on. More are coming in. Okay, so by 51 votes, this passes. By 50 votes, sorry, by 50 votes,
51%, yes. Okay,
it's
so,
51%.
so that, what that means is that part's being struck, but now we're going to make a motion and you need to just read the the bill, right?
Now.
You're never going to get out of here, Ladon, you know that.
Okay, so we have now.
Right,
Okay.
right, but we're going to have a new motion.
So
Is there any more discussion or debate or motion? And we have a motion coming up to the,
I would like to make a motion to send this back to committee to clean up the language and make it
Clarify.
intelligible to everybody.
second, we need a second? Eric got a second.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to vote on sending this
Oh.
back.
Never mind, you just again.
We're gonna vote to send this back to committee, which I think is a prudent thing. Probably not supposed to say that, but you know.
Can I ask
Go
a
ahead.
clarification question real quick?
Yes.
You send it back to committee and this is our last Senate meeting, so then what happens? What's
It'll
the
go in the
timeframe?
fall.
Okay, so does that mean that this will still have to be voted on before we have appointments to those committees? So that's a whole nother year that we have to wait to get career
No.
track people on this.
just had elections. We're done with this.
Yeah.
Oh,
You-
okay.
Yeah, we're
So
done.
this would, we'd still have time to put this in place before the
Yes,
next.
because
okay,
even if
that's-
it passed
semester,
today,
yes.
we wouldn't have elections
Thank you.
till then. Okay, right.
Hello. Can I make another motion, a competing motion?
Um, we have to do this first.
Okay.
So let Maria get this up.
Okay, but what if
You
the
thought
motions
this
cancel
job
each
was
other out?
easy. Come on. All right,
Hold on.
so
Wait 1 second. Okay, so this motion is to send it back to the committee. Double check my language, everyone, make sure.
yes.
Okay. Do you approve to send motion 2023-66 back to committee?
Well, we can't say anything we're voting. Oh, your phone died. Ah, you could whisper your vote there.
Talk to Ashley, she'll cast your vote. Ashley. Give her your name.
We're at the home stretch, guys.
Okay, ending, oh, wait. We're gonna give her a chance to cast her vote. We're good?
Okay.
Okay,
All
ending
right,
the
we're
poll?
gonna- Okay. That's pretty resounding.
So
Okay.
it's, with 94 votes, this motion passes, so it goes back to committee.
And it goes back to committee. Would this be having to do with this bill? With this proposal, the motion?
The whole motion, yes.
Is that what it would be about, Sarah?
My motion, which will now be a clarification question because John's motion supersedes it, is why can't the wording be changed to employed at ASU for 6 years or tenured?
Right, and that's going back to the US.
Okay, I guess then my question is, why can't we vote on that now?
Because
undo
there's
the
more than
committee?
that to. Yeah, we already passed the motion to send it back, but please weigh in with the UAC, an executive committee and so forth. Who would they contact? Who actually brought this motion? Beside Lori, I know brought it, but she's not in the UAC. And Phil's in Spain, so we don't know. Okay. You know what, Sarah, you're welcome to reach out to me, Sarah. You're welcome to reach out to me to figure out how to, look it over. Okay. All right. That was interesting. Now we have committee reports, but these are not full reports. These are meant to be, remember, brevity is the soul of wit. These are meant to be a short statement. All these reports are on the website. So first I'm going to ask, the full reports are on the website. Jeff Kingsbury, and he's also going to be announcing the winners of the campus president-elect positions. Jeff?
Thank you, Penny. In the interest of time, I'll yield the majority of my report to the discussion that we just had. Our committee, it began the year staffing all of the standing committees. During the year, we had no RFCs. During the spring semester, we worked with Senate staff to administer the elections, which just concluded, the results of which were the following individuals won as campus president-elect. Downtown, Jessica Hogan; Polytechnic, Chad Kennedy; Tempe, Elena Roki; and West Campus, Sherry Collins.
Okay, congratulations to them, yes. Okay, next we have Curriculum and Academic Programs Committee, Claudia Sadowski-Smith.
Okay, me again. Okay, in the interest of time, same thing. I'm just going to mention briefly that so far we have passed 74 curricular proposals this year. There will be, we will have one more meeting, so it'll be 85. So we'll rival what we did last year. Under our previous chair, Denise, who's been a huge supporter of mine and without whom I could not have survived in this position. I will be in this position for one more year, which is great because I finally understand how it's working. And basically, we had 10 more establishments of new units this year. We had a lot fewer disestablishments, and we had also fewer name changes, but many more transfer of degrees. And I think I just wanted to say one more thing to you senators. I know it's difficult. I mean, like I said, it took me a year to understand the process, but there have been pretty much for every first read that I've done since I started this position, or that Denise has done, there have been objections from some unit. And I think it's really important that you come to us immediately after the first objection. I have put in place a new procedure where we actually try to work with you. You have US senators or somebody who's a representative of your unit. You can send us objections. I introduce those objections to my committee. You can ask to be invited to the committee meeting and we can have you speak. If we had more information on the audiology degree, just to bring this up, we did pass a revised amended motion, but we may have had come to a different conclusion. And I'm glad that you as the Senate today came to that conclusion on your own. But we have sent proposals back. Our committee actually is really trying to work with objections. So please email me and the incoming senator with those objections. By the time they come to you as a second read, there's not much that can be done at that point because we've already passed them. And we can only talk about objections if they're brought to us, obviously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Yes, CAPC, well, all the committees have done amazing work. So next we have Digitally Enhanced Teaching and Learning Committee. Lisa or Stefan? Oh, Lisa's here. Great. Come on down. I feel like a game show host. Come on down.
Everyone, I want to thank Stefan for co-chairing this year. He's going to chair again next year, I believe. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. And I just want to thank all of our colleagues, ex officio, faculty and APs for contributing to this committee this year. It turned out to be an opportunity with Gemma Garcia, the new executive director for learning technologies in the provost's office. She talked to us about serving as a consultative committee with the provost's office while we're serving the Senate as well. And we did a pilot, we added a few more members, and as you know, we passed a motion to make the committee a standing committee and seek membership from across the institution. So we're pretty excited about that. And one of those conversations we had was with Ed Plus. Julie Greenwood from Ed Plus was asking us about strategies for scaling instruction. And that turned out to be a really great conversation and probably one of the best we've had in the 3 years. So I think there's great things to come for the committee, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa. All right. All right. Next, we can standing ovation at the end here. Library Liaison Committee, Claudia Velez Silva.
Okay, so I couldn't do the video, so just listen to my voice. I don't know. Beginning in August 2022, the LLC committee decided to evaluate the library and its needs with the hope of being able to make recommendations by the end of 2022-23 academic year, and then tackling the items we find to be the most urgent for the 2023-2024 academic year. In order to have a deep understanding of the library's roles and needs, we had guest speakers for our meetings who gave the committee working knowledge of the library's different areas. Many of these were deeply enhanced by Annalie Perry and Jim O'Donnell's insight. Some guest speakers included Alex Soto from the Libriola National American Indian Data Center, Nancy Liliana Godoy, and head of the community-driven archives, as well as a presentation on the state of the library, budget, and ongoing conversation, open science, open access from Annalie Perry and Jim O'Donnell. Based on these conversations, we were able to conclude the 4 key areas of recommendation based on the main issues facing the university library. That is as fast as I can speak. The 4 are staffing levels, I apologize, the information resources, open science, and inclusiveness. But I do need to conclude with, when looking to the future of the library, it is clear that the key investments must be in 1, support for major new university initiatives, And 2, support for student learning such as AI strategies, student instruction, etc. This means the priority is library staffing. Without the proper or sufficient staffing levels, the library cannot successfully service student learning, faculty research, and scholarship, contribute to their own research and scholarship innovation, nor actively sustain the university's mission when staff struggle to maintain the most basic level of service and support. Thank you.
Thank you. This is great. And again, I'm going to repeat this. You can go on our website to look at the full reports, and I encourage you to do so. Next, we have Personnel Committee, Jody Swanson.
Yes, I'm trying to get my video working as well on Zoom. In case it doesn't, I will just go ahead. So I do have to, of course, thank all the committee members. I'll say it in one sentence because I know that's the part we need to skip. But your creative and open approaches and your willingness to collaborate, I think, is the only way we're going to help personnel in this institution. So thank you for that. The aims of the committee this year were to summarize and consolidate existing areas of concern and distress for personnel members that remain problematic without meaningful change, and to devise plans forward in concert with administrators to enact that meaningful change. Overarchingly, these centered around areas of equity, consistency of policies and procedures across units, and transparency of communication and process between administrators and faculty members. The majority of issues we dealt with regarding faculty members pertain to career and career track faculty members' wellness, security, working conditions, and value. The committee was pleased to hear on several occasions in listening sessions with administrators that the concerns of career faculty are a leading priority across campuses, and we are continuing these listening sessions next academic year. Thank you.
Excellent. Again, every committee has done incredible workload this year, including Jody's. Then we have Research and Creative Activities Committee, Michael Todd.
Hi, yeah, I want to briefly summarize what we did, worked on this year in the Research and Creative Activities Committee. But yeah, also I want to start off thanking the committee members and the Senate office staff who've been really understanding at times when I've had issues. But getting to the summary, the first and foremost, what I'm talking about is implementation of the Open Access Publication Fund. This is building on work that the RCA committee initiated many years ago, and finally they were able to get some processes and eligibility criteria hashed out a couple of years ago. And so we've been working with representatives from Provost Office, Knowledge Enterprise, and ASU Libraries to get this pilot program implemented. And just to sort of give you summarize what the program involves, it's funding from the Provost Office and Knowledge Enterprise for $30,000 per fiscal year for 3 years to cover article processing charges that arise from open access publication. So this is basically covering the journal's costs, which get passed on to authors. And so we're trying to help defray costs to ASU authors, scholars, investigators. This fund makes available up to $1,500 per accepted article for during any fiscal year. So if you've been involved in open access publication, you know that that is often not enough, but it's something better than nothing. So the eligibility criteria as worked out by the committee in years past, and the application instructions are on the Knowledge Enterprise website on their researcher support page. So if you go to that page, that URL that you see on the slide, and go to the Share Your Scholarship heading, you will see that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. it is on the Website.
Toes here. Okay. Yeah, and you'll find that. You'll find that the criteria and the process there. The other activity that we have that is in front of us that's still ongoing is a review of the changes to the Research and Sponsored Projects Manual, RSP 604, regarding intellectual property management. And so these changes reflect changes to ABOR policy and have to do with changes to the apportionment of income that arises from intellectual property developed at ASU by ASU faculty and scholars. Potential financial conflicts of interest that have to do with intellectual policy. And then finally, distinguishing tuition and fees, which are paid by students, from intellectual property income. So making sure that that's not overlapping categories. And
Great.
that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Michael. And then we have just, don't go anywhere. We got to do some stuff here, you know, so don't go. Student Faculty Policy Committee, Sarah's already at the mic. Go ahead.
Hello. Maria, slides. All right, first of all, I want to start out by thanking the members of the committee, and especially because we were very busy this year. We covered 12 separate RFCs and 2 other issues, which is one more RFC than there were committee members, and they were troopers throughout. So I really want to thank them. Next slide, Maria. I'm just going to go through this very quickly. All of this is detailed in the annual report. We started the year with 5 RFCs. All of them have been closed. You can read about that in the annual report. We also began 3 RFCs in this academic year, which are now closed. 2 of the RFCs on that slide, 232, standardized syllabi, and 241, student credit hours and time commitment, moved on to Senate resolutions, and you all passed them at the last Senate meeting. And then just to wrap up, Maria, next slide. Thank you. All right, 4 RFCs will remain open for 2023 to 2024. These are 244, which is basically academic integrity, again, because we always have an academic integrity RFC. 245 and 248, these were all added late in the school year, and we have not had time to do any work on them. RFC 237, student disability accommodations, we did work on that throughout the year. We are leaving it open for 2 reasons. One is that we did not get to part of the original request, which was to look at accommodations for student organization events, how to request them, the timeline, the payment. And then the second reason was that sales expressed a strong desire to continue conversations with faculty on how faculty and sales can work best together to accommodate students. And then there were other issues we considered, graduate student housing and a contribution to the HLC report. But that's it. Once again, thank you to my committee, and thank you. Bye.
Yes, yeah, another hardworking committee. And we will wrap up with University Services and Facilities Committee, Chad Kennedy. Chad?
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Sorry,
up.
I unmute us. Let's see. So we got what, 2 minutes? So let's go into the first slide. So you can pull the full or view the full report, of course. We had 2 RFCs, one that was closed and one that was deferred. Mentioned these last time. The lactation wellness room access is much better than we thought. 56 rooms on 4 campuses, and they're updating the interactive map to find them. Academic integrity violations, we did defer to student faculty committee, which was kind of mentioned. Let's move on to the next slide, please. So the 2 that are still open, RFC 205, we are still working on placing the suggestion box, which we've been working on to be able to enable the USFC committee to be able to get new RFCs. And also then our last one, RFC 221, we kept that open because we were thinking we made some progress, and then we were still trying to liaise with some of the folks that we had met with at the end of last year, but the website looks like it's gone backwards a little bit. So we wanted to keep that open and keep accountability going on there for that one. It seems like we still need some progress on that to get things as far as process wise goes easier and more facilitated. It does not seem to be that way right now. And
All right.
that's kind of where we're at.
Great. And I do want to stress, I've been in the Senate for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, 6, I don't know. Of course, with COVID, it was a very different functioning of the Senate, and there were a lot of things that were on hold. I want to commend all the committees this year because we ramped up back up with a vengeance in the fall. You know, coming from sort of a quietness where we're all dealing with, you know, the world. And so they have done phenomenal jobs. And out of respect, I would ask all of you to go on the website and check out the reports. Well, yes, and we're going to be coming after you guys to join committees, just warning you. David Burrell is going to be coming after you. Now, before we wrap up, like I said, we have something official to do, but are there any questions, comments? This is open forum time. Sarah? Sure. Oh,
We going around campus?
yeah, I should probably do that. Just hang out. Anybody from downtown? Any comments, questions downtown? Maureen, anybody?
We're good at downtown. Thank you.
Okay. Then we go to Polytechnic campus.
So we do, Penny, we do have one comment here.
Okay. Whoops, you just froze. Oh, no.
Here, so, I'm going to request, I'm not disputing the results of the election, but I'm going to request that the Senate do an audit of the election because I have very low confidence that those members of the academic assembly like myself who are less than 1.0 FTE were actually given a fair opportunity to vote. And I never received the emails. Other people didn't receive emails, and it was an effort for those people. I became aware of it. So I'd like an audit done so we can identify if any problems or inconsistencies that occurred and have that reported back to the Senate at our August meeting. Thank you.
I do want to make one comment since I've been kind of up against this pretty closely. Everybody 50% and over is a member of the assembly and can vote. When we were notified that people were not getting ballots, we immediately rectified it. But I need to tell all you guys, out of 5,000 faculty, we had an abysmal number of participants. So to say that, you know, we didn't watch it, we did. We had what, 500 out of 5,000. Think about that. So if there was a problem, we corrected it immediately. You guys got to get out there and encourage your constituents. Your vote is your currency. But there's no problem with sharing. You know, Maria did a fantastic job. We have the numbers, and David, we can certainly talk to you about this and present to the Senate in the fall, just a copy of this. But I do need to say, you guys got to vote. Okay, now we're on.
And one comment on the previous statement, I did eventually find my ballot in the trash folder. So it may just be some sort of spam filter, but that's not why I got up here. I passed on to the Director of Graduate Studies in my unit, President Crow's comments on graduate student housing. And she asked me to bring this to the Senate's attention. And I know it's too late for him, but maybe you or Vice Provost Clark can pass it on. And what she suggests is that while we appreciate the university's long-term thinking, there is also an urgent need for fall 2023. The option of requiring affordable housing units in apartment buildings may be minuscule in effect and with a different cost basis, but at least it would be something, at least for those with the greatest need. So that's all.
Definitely get that passed on. Okay. And now I don't see anyone else. Tim, I know, guys, I was saying I don't see anyone else in Tempe, so now we'll move to West. All right. Let me pull my New York out here any minute. Okay, West Campus.
Thank you, Penny, for all your work this year. No questions from us.
All right, thank you all. And thank you for all the cookies at the UAC meetings. Okay. So before we do our last official thing, hang on, Greg. I just want to say a couple of things. I know half the people have left, but this is the last Senate meeting of the academic year. And there have been victories, guys, such as codifying career track as a designation for non-tenured faculty and accompanying salary increases. We brought that over the line. That was really important. I'm not tenured. I've been here forever, but I'm not tenured. There have been challenges in restructuring of colleges and programs that have entailed robust debate and new schools expanding opportunities in the West Campus and the Polytechnic campus. It's hard to convey how remarkable a year this has been for me. I have learned so much and had the opportunity to interact with so many fantastic people. I have been privileged to also serve as the chair of the Arizona Faculty's Council, representing all 3 universities. I'm very honored to be asked by the council to continue on in that role for 1 more year. That's kind of rare. My parting words to all of you as I end my term as president of the Faculty Senate at ASU is how profoundly grateful I am to have had this opportunity, and I cannot urge you enough to stay active and engaged in our shared governance. It has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my years at ASU, and more of us need to get involved. And now I'm going to pass the position and the gavel to
Thank you first. I
Oh.
gotta give you your gavel.
Oh, gosh. My gavel.
Oh, yeah. You can't really hit things
It's
with it,
stuck.
but I know. Hey. Penny, we at the Senate have been lucky to have had your inspiring leadership in this challenging year. Furthermore, thanks to our robust system of shared governance, the larger ASU community has benefited greatly from your skills. As if that weren't enough, you've done an excellent job representing the faculty of all 3 public universities to the Board of Regents. I'm looking forward to your continuing mentorship as I take on this daunting job. And we would like to show our appreciation by giving you this.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you for your service.
Wow.
There are flowers for you too, apparently.
Well, and now I'm going to pass this entire thing over to Dr. Greg Stone, and then you get to declare the meeting to be done. And I just
Yay.
want to say thank you to all of you, and please encourage everybody to get involved.
Yeah,
Life-changing.
yes, please. Okay, well, I am looking forward to seeing most of you in the fall, and hopefully we'll have a very productive year. Yes.
All right.